My name's Jay Allen. Normally when you see me, I'm running a biker party for the Broken Spoke Saloon, but right now, after every Sturgis, it's time to come out for Bubs. This is the 7th annual 2010 Bub Speed Trials, and it's been an impeccable and amazing event. Here, we're running the same bike, but when I say the same, it really isn't the same. We're right now, Jeff and Bill are getting this bike ready for its 4th class. This bike has made 6 passes, and it takes 2 passes to get a record. We're sitting on 3 records right now, and we're going into a 4th class, and we still have tomorrow to go. So that tells you what this bike's doing. We had a cracked cylinder keep us from Speed Week this year, and I think it was a blessing in disguise. Jeff fixed the cylinder, but he also did a higher lift cam. Rob Schaff, who has the magic heads, he freshened the heads up, and this bike has never, ever run better. Does it look the same? Yeah, it looks the same. Is it the same bike? Yes, in some ways, but the heart and the soul in this thing right now is baddest than it's ever been. It is just amazing. It's off the hook, and it wants more. This thing is a beast. When you wonder, well, how good is Jay done? I mean, how good is that? This bike is running faster right now than bikes out here with superchargers on them. Pro Charger, Aero Charger. I'm turning faster times than a majority of them. How can that be? How can a motor that came from S&S Cycle in a box to any consumer with a good set of S&S B2 heads do so well? I don't have an answer. All I can tell you is this is the littlest motor in its class, and it's outrunning 99% of everything in its class. Broken Spoke Racing, you know, Jeff and Bill and I, we're some really happy, lucky guys right now. You know, a lot of people in life when they're working throughout their life, and I don't know anyone that doesn't have to work. I don't know those kind of people. There's typically something that keeps you going. You know, it could be retirement, it could be buying a sailboat or fishing or whatever. And for me, you know, to do all these events, and trust me, these events take a piece of your soul every time you do them. Coming out to Bonneville is the thing that I look forward to. And this is the 7th year consecutively. What does that tell you? Haven't missed 1 year. This is one of the things that keeps me pumped to do my job that I think I do really well. But I tell you, the carrot at the end of the nose, I'm sitting right here on this salt. It's Bonneville. That's embarrassing to say. And Wink Eller, you know, is one of my mentors. Wink Eller's told me that when it comes to setting records, he knows people that have come out here and yet have to set a record. And we have never come here and been skunked that I know of in getting a record of some sort. And I know last year I had an accident. I hit the timer. If you can imagine this, they have a battery inside in the actual eye that throws a beam of light that you break. And at 178 miles an hour, I struck that, ripped all the ligaments in my left foot, ripped through the fairing, took the front tire right off the bead, dented the wheel, and I was lucky enough to not go down on the bike. But the weird thing about that one was we hadn't had a record yet. And so with a foot black and this big, and the help of Wink Eller loaning me his front wheel, I went out and hand shifted the bike and pulled a 164 point something record. And again, Broken Spoke Racing went home with a record. You know, we've been very lucky. One of our many secrets with running so fast with this bike is Burt Baker sent us out a 5-speed. And the first year, we were running a 6-speed overdrive and setting records, not knowing that an overdrive robs power. And then we went a 6-speed 1-to-1, and we were talking to James Simonelli and Burt Baker, and they said, hey, look, you're not out there to sound pretty. Put that 5-speed in there. It's bulletproof. It's not the quietest thing in the world, but it's bulletproof and it works. And I got to tell you, at 179 miles an hour, it shifts like butter. And this thing is a 5-speed Baker, land speed record holder. You're looking at it right there. I love S&S and I love Baker. Records are cool, you can hang them on your wall, but what everybody wants to do is they want to go faster. You know, I know Jeff over there, he can give a flying shit about the records. He just wants to go faster. So we're going after a record that is, I think it's only in the 150s. So I don't think, you know, Lord willing, if this thing's running like it is, we're not going to have a problem beating the record. We just want to get this thing in the 170s and the high 170s with no fairing work, which is amazing because I know a guy that has a 131-inch turbocharged motor that just went out and pulled a 161, and we just pulled a 173 with that little S&S and Baker on pushrod gas. That's the kind you put in your car. That's bad. You know, whenever there's an event like the Bub's 7th annual, typically there's a lot of costs incurred, and to make that happen, they go out for sponsorships. But when and if you're ever lucky enough to come out and see what this is really about, you're not going to see Prevost buses around here. And what I'm finding out is any sport that has a lot of money in it, it isn't even a legitimate sport anymore. NASCAR's crooked. Pro football, I'm sorry, it's crooked. But you come out here, there's no money in it. You're here because you have the passion for it. So for them to get sponsors, these people have to have the passion to sponsor it, because business-wise, unless you're a purist, there's really not that much money in it. So, you know, when we pick up people like Cycle Source Magazine and Pingle and so many of the other companies, it just shows their dedication to land speed racing and to the world of motorcycling. And they also know that they could get a bigger bang for their buck out there somewhere else. But they know it needs their support. And again, they're in it heart and soul, so you know, we got them by the gonads too. Dennis Manning, this is a guy, this year is Dennis Manning's 40th year. He is the founder of this event. He's the one who dreamed of doing his own event. 7 years later, we had almost over 300 riders. That's a lot of riders. And by the way, every year they're getting faster at cycling these riders through. They're getting safer. When you go through tech inspection, they're looking at the boots, the gloves, the helmets, you name it. These guys are on it. So this is becoming a world-class event. I'm meeting people from all over not the United States of America, but the planet Earth, South America, Europe, New Zealand, everywhere. Bub's 7th annual. Just keep an eye on this thing, and don't deny yourself. Get out here, bring some sunscreen, a big old hat, some food to snack on, and some cold ones, and watch the most gorgeous sunrises and sunsets of your life, and see some of the fastest bikes on earth. And if they're not the fastest, they're some of the most interesting, and the people are intriguing, and some of the most heartfelt people in the world. Land speed racing.